Good morning, people. This is Ramel Watson from the City of Newark Mayor's Office of Youth and College Affairs. We're here at 104 Locke Street at NJIT Wellness Center for Instant Decision Day, trying to get some of our young people into colleges and also get them registered to vote.
We were just excited to be here.
I give out free money, about $600 million a year to all the kids going to school in New Jersey.
Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Hashani Carter, Executive Director for New Jersey's Educational Opportunity Fund, and I am excited to be here with all of these amazing students and representatives from different institutions. We really want to encourage our students to come out, make sure that they apply to not only college but also apply to EOF. If you're not familiar with what EOF is, please contact the institution. There's plenty of opportunities of support for our students. Again, we are excited to partner with Newark and the various communities to help our students be able to get access and opportunity to college, not only to afford college, but to get the comprehensive support that EOF provides year after year so students are able to graduate and go on to do amazing things.
Show me what you got, let me hear you say.
Good morning, everyone. Excellent. Welcome to the New Jersey Institute of Technology. We're thrilled that you're all here. My name is John Palesko. I have the great privilege of serving as provost here at NJIT, and I am really excited to welcome you all to the New Jersey Institute of Technology and to today's College Readiness and Career Exploration event. So welcome, welcome. We're happy that you're here. I do want to say a special thanks to Mayor Ras Baraka, who I'll introduce in just a few moments. Mayor Baraka. Oh, it's his birthday? Happy birthday, Mayor Baraka, happy birthday. They told me that. I also want to say a special thanks to Angela Garretson, who's NJIT's Chief Government and Community Relations Officer, and to David Jones, who's NJIT's Chief Diversity Officer, for all of their work in making today possible. They're both standing over there on the sidelines. Can we give them a round of applause? Now, over the course of today, you'll have the opportunity to learn more about college and to think about your path to a career. I want to share with you just a little bit about NJIT, and I hope that as each of you considers your future, you'll consider making NJIT part of that future. NJIT is, of course, New Jersey's public polytechnic university, and we strive to provide New Jersey residents with a top-quality STEM education. Our work in this area has led Forbes magazine to rate NJIT as the #1 public university in the state. And that is worth applauding. Excellent, thank you. And the New York Times, in their ranking tool, says that when you compare schools based on high alumni earning, economic mobility, and academic strength, we're the #1 public university in the nation. Now, that's ahead of some schools you might be thinking about, like Berkeley, Georgia Tech, and UCLA. Now, I do have to tell you, in full disclosure, the Wall Street Journal does slightly disagree with the New York Times. And in their 2024 rankings, they placed NJIT as the #2 public university in the nation. I still think that's pretty good. It's pretty good. Now, as a public polytechnic university, we focus on and are at the forefront of what we call the STEM fields. And I'm sure STEM is a phrase that's familiar to all of you. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. The work that happens here ranges from artificial intelligence to cybersecurity to nanotechnology to sustainability and more. The expertise of our faculty in these areas drives the quality of our academic programs, and our faculty work each and every day to bring real-world knowledge to the classroom and to help our students find their path to career success. Now, as NJIT's Public Polytechnic University, we're also deeply committed to engaging with the City of Newark and the State of New Jersey, in part through events like this one here today. And we're proud to be able to say that our campus is New Jersey. NJIT is a minority-serving institution, a Hispanic-serving institution, and an Asian and Native American and Pacific Islander-serving institution. I can confidently state that you will not find a more diverse nor more welcoming community at any public polytechnic university in the nation that rivals what you will find here at NJIT. And of course, our focus is always on our students and on their success. We strive every day to provide every student with the support that they need to succeed academically. We work to ensure that all of our students are engaged with the NJIT community. We work to create opportunities for every one of our students to participate in undergraduate research, co-ops, internships, study abroad trips, and service learning programs. And the impact this makes on our students shows. NJIT graduates earn starting salaries 20% higher than their peers. And by the time they've reached the middle of their careers, the salaries of NJIT graduates are higher than 98% of their peers from other institutions across the country. We do all that we can to ensure that NJIT students are the best prepared students in the United States. So again, as you go through today's program and contemplate your path, I very much hope that you'll consider making NJIT part of that path. Enjoy the day. I hope to see you on campus again soon, and please join me in welcoming Mayor Ras Baraka.
Good morning, good morning. Good morning. So I'm thankful to be here this morning. So I thank God that I'm up, I'm alive, I'm well, healthy. I appreciate that. And just want to thank a few folks. Obviously, we want to thank Dr. Brown, Office of Comprehensive Community Education here. Aaliyah Kearney, her assistant here. I want to thank Office of Violence Prevention, all of the organizations, Gateway U, all of the folks that are here, all of you students, all of the staff, and the teachers, and everybody else at the Comprehensive and other high schools here in the city of Newark that showed up today. We appreciate you guys, and we want to thank NJIT for allowing us to be in their facility once again. I want to thank them for a couple of other things as well before I make a few brief remarks. One, some of the students at NJIT helped us think about how to create a homeless village for Newark residents who are homeless in our community. So we built 2, we're about to build 3. They helped the third one, they helped us with the second one, and NJIT students thought about and created a third iteration of what we call Hope Village, using container homes to build housing for folks who are not privileged enough to have housing. And so I want to thank the NJIT students for that. I also want to thank them for the Mayor's Scholars Program, because they have a program where they give a scholarship to Newark students to come to NJIT. And they come from various schools throughout the city. When I was a principal, we started a program with Dr. Bloom, who was the president of the university then, that allowed kids from Central High School to take courses at New Jersey Institute of Technology. And when they graduated, or when they finished those courses and graduated from high school, they were given a free scholarship to NJIT. I know at least 3 students from Central High School now, 4 actually, who have graduated from NJIT and who are employed, who I'm still in contact with, who are enjoying the fruits of their education from New Jersey Institute of Technology today. So I want to thank them for that. But what we want to do is make sure we encourage them to expand that number, right? How many of y'all would like to go to NJIT? After all that stuff he said up here, more hands should be up. You want to be able to go to New Jersey Institute of Technology, so we want to expand that number. We want to get more Mayor Scholars. We want to get more students from Newark to be able to brag about the fact that they went to New Jersey Institute of Technology, one of the finest schools in the nation, certainly in the state of New Jersey, graduate, get a good job, a high-paying job, and come back to the city of Newark and help their peers do the same thing. That's what we want, right? Come on, let's make some noise just so they know how badly we want that. Good. So this is an exciting opportunity for you guys, all these people up here, these colleges, and these folks up here for you today. They came because they want you to want to help you make a decision. I was born and raised in Newark. I went to Madison Avenue School on Madison and 16th Street. It's a different school now. I went to Clinton Place Junior High School after that. The school is also gone. From there, I went to University High School. I'm a graduate from University High. I went there, and then I went to Howard University after, right? Let me tell you how I went to Howard University, because God is good. I lived down the street from University, which meant I came to school late every day because I thought I lived so close I could get there on time, and I woke up whenever I want and ate and stopped at Sherry's and the store around the corner and got to school late all of the time. But God is so good, because this day I did my regular getting to school late thing. So I got to school late, and there was a bus in front of the school. And kids were coming out of school getting on the bus. And I had an awesome, incredible guidance counselor named Rosita Holiday. We called her Aunt Ziti. She was our guidance counselor at University High School. She stopped me as I walked in the building late. She said, you need to go on this trip. We going on a Black college tour. We're going to visit Howard University. Your dad went to Howard University. And I thought I was smarter than everybody. So I said, I don't have a permission slip, so I can't go on the trip, and you can't make me go on a trip because I don't have a permission slip. So I walked inside the school and proceeded to go to class. I heard the voice on the loudspeaker. They brought me back to the main office. I came in the main office. Ms. Holiday was there on the phone with my father on the other end. And after she spoke to my father, she hung up the phone. She said, you just got your permission slip, and put me on the bus to go to Howard University. And when I walked on that campus and I saw all that was happening there, something hit me like lightning, you know? And I decided at that very moment that I was going to college, and there was only one college I was ever going to get to, and that was Howard University. And I did something I don't want to advise any of you to do. I filled out one college application only. I decided not to have a plan B, plan C, plan D, nothing. I said, if I don't go to Howard, I'm not going to college. And God is good, because I got accepted to Howard University. And I'm a graduate from Howard University. And my plan was a little ubiquitous, right? It was, by happenstance. We want you to really think out your strategy. We want you to plan your future today. Use this as an opportunity to make a decision about where you want to be 5 years from today, 10 years from today. And I know that may seem like it's so far away, but I'm telling you, it's closer than you imagine. And when you graduate from high school and you wake up the next day and there's nobody there to tell you you have to go to school, and there's no teachers harassing you about your homework that you have to turn in, or no guidance counselors on your back, or no principals getting on your nerves, or nobody in the building that's forcing you to do things you think you don't want to do, and you're just laying in the bed with nothing to do, all of those thoughts are going to hit you very fast. What am I going to do today, tomorrow, the next day, and the day after that? You have to start planning that process right now. You have to plan, and if you haven't planned it, don't fret. Get with people in here today and speed that activity up. Get your mental juices flowing, your creativity, your ingenuity, and figure out You from Newark. You've been in crises before. This is nothing to you. You can figure out where you want to be immediately and begin to plan that. In NJIT's gym, with all of these places up here, you might decide today that none of these places up here are for you. But what you can decide is that you're going to be somewhere. And by talking to these people, it may click in your head that wherever you want to be is out there, and today is the first step for me to be able to get there. And if you thought of things already, that's even better. This is the opportunity for you to expedite, to speed that up, to accelerate your opportunity to be in college. I want to see you with a college diploma. How many people want to have a college diploma? I want to see you walk across the stage again. Don't let walking across the stage at high school be the last time you walk across the stage. Do it 2 or 3 more times if you can. The feeling is exhilarating. You know how great you felt you're going to feel when you walk across the stage in the 12th grade. Imagine when you finish undergrad, and then when you finish grad school, or you get a doctorate. All of those things are exciting opportunities for you, and I believe it for you. I believe it for you. And I'm a close, but I want to tell you that because you are from Newark, because you go to school in these communities, and because all of these things happen around you, sometimes you feel like it's happening to you, that there are obstacles in front of you, those things are designed to pull out of you what's in you already, the incredible things that you have. And because you are able to make it here, the world is an opportunity, is a platform for you. The things that you can do, that you create, are limitless. You have the ability to use the obstacles that you moved out of your way here as a proving ground for you to go elsewhere and do incredible, outrageous, enormous things. How do I know? Because I was a 15-year-old kid on Avon Avenue and 14th Street, instead of in front of Yusef Steak and Tape, sitting on the steps, writing poetry, putting it in my back pocket, trying to figure out what I'm gonna do at 16 and 17. And today, I'm the mayor of the largest city of the state of New Jersey, in the city I was born and raised in. And the schools I went to, public schools right here in the city of Newark. So I know I serve an enormous God, and that this city is beautiful and it can prepare you for almost anything. God bless y'all, Godspeed. Do great things, Newark, do great things.
Good morning, Newark. Come on, we could do better than that. We brought a whole lot of people from a whole lot of places. This school has put together an incredible day for you and brought some incredible folks, spent a whole lot of money for you. So let's greet this day with the energy and the enthusiasm that it deserves. Ladies and gentlemen of Newark, good morning! My name is Jimmy McMichael, and I'm honored to be here with you today. In my time talking to some of you before we got started here today, it's my understanding that there are a number of high schools here, and so I want to see, I wrote them down, of the people that I talked to. So one of the great things that we get to do is we get to travel this country and sometimes across the globe, talking to young people, talking to students about their dreams and their goals. And we meet some of the most incredible students, and one of the things that we always find out is people love where they're from. They love their school and they love to rep where they're from. So I'm gonna see who in Newark is the livest group in here. So some folks were telling me who's the best, but we're gonna figure it out right now. So we're gonna give you a chance to rep your school. If you are from Technology High School, make some noise. All right. Let's see who can top that. If you were from Marion Thomas High School, make some noise. All right. How about Leaders for Life? All right, okay. We got Shabazz High. Where you at? All right, did I miss anybody? If I missed somebody, stand up. If I missed somebody, stand up. Let me see. Yeah, I'm coming to you. Don't try and act like that now. Where you from, man?
Science Park High School.
Science Park High School. Make some noise. Miss anybody else? Who else I miss? All right. So listen, like I said, the great thing about traveling the globe, working with young people, is I meet some of the most incredible young people that you can imagine, right? So I've met some folks your age. I've met middle school students that have started their own business and are millionaires. I've met people and I've watched them go from high school to become astronauts, to be leaders in science, to be leaders in all different kind of fields, to go on to be elected to office. And I've had the opportunity to meet some of you in some of the greatest places, from the White House to all over this country. So I believe the power of what you're able to do if you simply believe that it's possible. So if you want to be a millionaire, let me see you raise your hand. All right. If your goal in life is to do something of good where people benefit, raise your hand. All right, okay. So our belief is that whatever you want to do in life, whatever you want to accomplish, is possible. And in fact, the only difference between what's possible and what's impossible is the way that you see the situation. And so when we travel around the country, one of the things you're going to find out with people like us is that there is typically a reason why we choose to do what we do with you. And so one of the things I want to share is just a quick story about the reason that I made the commitment to help you achieve your goals and help you to achieve your dreams. So before I do that, I want everybody to pull their phone out. I want you to open it up and I want you to go to your notes section. And I'm going to ask you to write down 4 words. And even my teachers that are here, even all the adults that are here, I need you to do the same. Pull out your phone, open it up to your notes section, and I need you to write down these 4 words. Here's the first word. We're going to come back to this. First word is what? What? W-H-A-T. All right, hit the return button. Next word that I want you to write down is why. Why? W-H-Y. I think I asked my high school who asked that question. The next word I'm going to ask you to write down is how. And the last word is when. All right. So close that up, put your phones down, and just listen for a quick second. So like I said, I get the opportunity to travel. I meet some of the most incredible young people, some of the most incredible stories. And those are the things that fuel me, that put me on the road to continue trying to work with young people to help you get to where you want to be. And I know in this room there's going to be an incredible success story that we can't wait to celebrate. But here's the reason why I do what I do. And I've been doing this, I've been on the road for a few decades. And it goes back to a young person at a school in the town where I'm from. And so, raise your hand if you're an athlete. Any athletes in here? Okay. So this young man that I had the opportunity to work with, he was an athlete. And here's his story. He was a 2-sport star. He was a star in the sport of soccer. He was a star in the sport of track and field. And as he was getting ready to graduate, he was getting recruited by a lot of colleges across the country. And the recruiting efforts were hard. They were fast, they were furious, and it came to a point where this young man had to make a decision as to where he was going to go. But no school was recruiting him harder. I'm from Hartford, Connecticut, and there was a school in Connecticut that was recruiting this young man, trying to keep him in state. And he decided he was going to run track and field in college, so this coach pretty much harassed him and stalked him and was confident that he was going to get him to go to his university. So one night, this coach called this young man and he said, hey, I spent a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money trying to get you to come to my school. It's time for you to make a decision. So the young man said, well, listen, I'm not going to your school. I'm going to school out west. It's a big-time program. They're a national contender every year. They're a lock to win their conference championship every year. And this kid had Olympic dreams and Olympic goals. And he told the coach, who we'll call Coach X, he said, Coach X, I'm going west. And so Coach X spoke words to this young man that no person should ever say to another person, but especially an adult to a student in high school. And this is what he said. He said, I hate to be the one to tell you this, young man, but you can't make it out there. He said, you don't have what it takes to succeed at that place. You don't have what it takes to be a successful athlete at that university. He said, those are the raging ocean waters of athletics, and you're nothing more than a guppy. And he said, it's much better to stay home in state where you can be a big fish in a small pond. And he said, it's always better to be a big fish in a small pond than a guppy in the ocean, because you'll never amount to anything. And so you need to change your mind and come here, because you can't make it at that school. And so the young man said, thank you very much, and hung up the phone. What Coach X tried to do was rob the history books of the story that would be told. The story of this young man who went on to that university, that Big Ten university, and he won 5 consecutive championships, 5 indoor and outdoor track and field championships. That young man, decades later, still has his name etched in the record books at Indiana University for a sprint record that's never been broken. I tell you that story because that story is my story. And it was the first time in my life that I encountered what we call dream killers. It was the first time in my life that I remember encountering someone and understanding that there will be people in your life that try to crush your hopes and your dreams simply because they can't see the power of your possibility. And so we decided that we would spend the rest of our lives, and I made a commitment from that day that everything that I'm going to do is going to be designed to educate, inspire, and empower people to be better, to do better, or to accomplish more, because the last thing I ever want to see is somebody be told, you can't do it, you can't make it, it won't work for you, and as a result, you give up on the hope that you have to accomplish something in life. And so to this day, on my pinky finger, I still wear one of my championship rings. And it's a reminder, it ain't for you, it's a reminder to me that never forget that guppies can grow up to be sharks. Yeah. So as we gather here today, everything we're going to do is going to be designed to try and help you get better, be better, or accomplish more, because we have an opportunity to spend some time with you. So with that being said, here's how today's going to work. I'm going to introduce you to a couple of my friends. They're going to speak to you for a minute, and as we do breakout sessions, we're going to work with you on some of the things that you want to do to try and help you map out a plan to get there. And we're also going to work with you as we talk about trying to make you socially responsible too, because this world that we live in, it is more than just about you. And so you have to be a productive part in moving this world forward and making a way for people that comes behind you as well. So that's our day. So here's one of the crazy things. I'm going to go back to those questions that I asked you to write down. So the first one was, what? Here's the question I need you to answer in your own time. What are you going to do in your life that's going to differentiate you from the average? What are you going to do that's going to be extraordinary? What goal are you going to set for yourself to be incredible grand scheme of life's history time frame? What are you going to do? What's going to determine your greatness? What is that thing that when you're no longer here, people are going to remember you for? That's your what. The second thing I asked you to write down was why. Because you can know what you want to do, but you have to know why you want to do it. Because it's the why that's going to power you through the difficulty, because anytime you want to achieve anything that's great, it's hard. And the reason why you want to do it is the thing that's going to power you through that situation. Then I asked you to write down how, because you can know what you want to do, You can know why you want to do it. But if you don't have a plan to accomplish it or a plan to get there, it's just a dream. You have to take actionable steps to get to that thing that you want to accomplish. And then the last thing I asked you to write down was when. Because you can know what you want to do. You can know why you need to do it. You can even have a plan to get there. But it's understanding when that puts this to your feet and you actually get going doing it. So those are the questions that you need to answer. Those are important life lessons, questions for you to answer. In your own time, make sure that you have an answer for those questions. So here's what I'm going to do. I talked about the fact that it's hard to be great, it's hard to accomplish the extraordinary, but you can't set your sights any lower than that. So I'm going to bring up someone who's going to talk to you about the mountain, because in all of your lives, there's going to be a mountain that you have to climb to greatness. And so he's going to give you a little bit of perspective on that. So coming to the stage all the way from Michigan, my brother, Dr. Desmond Daniel. Let's give him a warm round of applause.
Good morning. Come on, we gotta do better than that. Good morning. It's important to me to feel your energy because I thrive off of the energy that you all provide. And we're gonna be here for the balance of the day, pouring into you some things that we believe are gonna make you successful. Some opportunities for you to be the person that you were created to be. We believe with our whole hearts that a major portion of what we do is pass the baton. How many of you run track? All right, if you're a track runner and you're in a relay, you understand that it's important for you to pass that baton and have a successful pass in order to win the race, or in order not to be disqualified. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Dr. Desmond Daniel. I come from a little city in Michigan called Saginaw, Michigan, right? At the period of time in which I was born, that city was considered to be America's city, the model city in America. But by the time I got to college, and they began to tell me what my story was expected to be, my city had become crime alley in the United States of America. That was hard for me to digest. But one of the biggest things that I had to come to grips with was that I had the potential. Me, little old me from 9th Street in Saginaw, Michigan, I had the potential to reach out and change the world in spite of what anybody else had to say. I remember going to college. First of all, I went to a small Catholic school and I graduated in the top 10 of my school. Top 10, baby, come on, show me some love for top 10. Top 10? Come on now, you gotta do better than that, top 10. Now let me tell you this part. There were 32 people in my graduating class. I was in the top 10. So when I decided that I would go off to college, I went to see my counselor, and my counselor was not like many of the counselors that you all work with. You have had the privilege of working with. I went to my high school counselor and I said, I want to go to college. And she said, oh, that's so nice. And she handed me an application to work for General Motors. There's nothing wrong with working with General Motors. Ford General Motors, Fortune 500 company, make millions of dollars, you know, all of that stuff, create wonderful ways for families to, but that was not my story. That was not where I wanted my story to end. So she didn't even give me an application to go to college. So I had to seek my own opportunity to go on to college. I was blessed, and I had the opportunity to go on to a school called Central Michigan University, where I graduated and got my bachelor's degree. In one of my first classes, I sat there, and I was confused, like many freshmen are. I was confused as to what I truly wanted to do, how I wanted to get there. But it was a mountain that I recognized in order for me to be successful, I was going to have to do what I had to do. The other side of it is, if I did not do well, I couldn't go home to my mom and my dad. I had to go. So here I am, sitting in this class, and it's a classroom in a big auditorium type of setting, and I'm there and I'm doing my absolute best. I go to this one class, a smaller classroom, about 30 people in the classroom, and here it is. It's my first opportunity to write a college paper. Oh, I'm excited about it. So I sat down and I crafted it and I spent time on this paper, hours and hours in the library, which was a place that I wouldn't always be familiar with, but I had to do some research in order to do the paper. So here it is, bam, I turn in the paper. Days later, I'm sitting there and the TA is there, the teacher's aide is passing out the papers there, passing them out, and I'm excited, like, my paper's coming back in. They don't give me my paper. What's going on? Oh, you want to keep my paper because my paper is the exemplary paper. This is the best paper that you've all ever seen, and so you're going to put it in the CM Life, the newspaper. You're going to publish this little kid from Sacramento. You're going to publish my stuff because it's that good. The TA comes over to me and says, excuse me, professor wants to see you after class. I'm kidding. Professor, tell me firsthand, this is the best paper that I've ever seen. I go to the professor's office, and it's a beautiful office. Wood all over, all of these things. And I'm already like, oh Lord, this is real stuff right here. She comes in moments later and she says, I just wanted to talk to you about your paper. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, well, I noticed a couple of things about you. I've gone to the gym and I do my little exercises and I saw you and you were there, you were working out with the basketball team and I really want to ask you a couple of questions. How do you think the team is going to do this year? And I said, well, they should be straight. They'll be good. She said, yeah. I've seen the team over years and I've always wondered, what does it take to make the team? What does it take to pull a team together? And all of a sudden, she's looking at me a little bit different. And then I said to myself, oh snap. I use a different term, but in a setting such as this, my mind started to think, where is she going with this? She said, well, I just wanted you to know that I'm going to be here to support you throughout your career at Central Michigan University, and I want you to be the best student that you could possibly be. But I am concerned. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, I'm concerned because after reading your paper, I wonder if you have ever been tested for a learning disability. Now here's the thing, there's nothing wrong if you have a learning disability and someone asks you about it because they can extend services that may make you the best student that you can possibly be, but that wasn't my situation. Then she said, well, what was it like to get a scholarship to play on the basketball team? My daddy paying for me to go to school. I'm not on anybody's scholarship other than Herman Daniel. I'm not on anybody's basketball team other than the little recreational joint that I went to and that you saw me playing with the team because they happened to be at the gym with me. But here in my mind, I said, okay, I'm in trouble. Because once she found out that I'm not on the basketball team, perhaps a promise that she made to make me successful was going to be withdrawn. I said to myself in that moment, oh, she don't know me. So, make a long story short, I went to see the president after I left her office. And I said, Mr. President, I have a problem. I'm taking this class, and in this class, this young lady, my professor, believes that I'm on the basketball team. Once she finds out that I'm not on the basketball team, I'm concerned for my performance. She as much as told me that I was on the basketball team and never asked me if I was. So I'm concerned about how successful I'm going to be in that class. What did he do? Shook my hand, gratuitous handshaking. Son, I believe you're going to be okay. I said, yeah, what am I going to do? I knew I couldn't go home. That's number one. You cannot go home, son. So I couldn't go home. At that very moment, I decided that there is nothing that this woman can do that's going to ever stop me from reaching my goals. This woman became my primary motivation for going on and getting countless degrees, and I'll share this story with you. So ultimately, I graduated from Central Michigan University, and I get my bachelor's degree, right? So when they graduate from the university, they give you these little invitations that you could extend to other people. So boom, I sent her an invitation to attend the graduation from me. After graduating from Central Michigan University with my bachelor's degree in psychology, I went back to the university and got a master's degree in administration. Bam, what did I do? I sent her another invitation to come to the graduation. After I left the master's program, I went to Vanderbilt University where I obtained a master's degree in theology. And guess what I did? I sent her an invitation so that she could come and be a part of that experience. After graduating and getting my bachelor's and my master's and my other masters, then I went on and got myself a PhD. See, when you're talking about getting a PhD, the story changes. It's a small percentage of individuals who have the intestinal fortitude to do what it takes to get a PhD. And I looked at my mind, I looked at this woman and I said to myself, see, she needs to know that there's somebody else from a little town like Saginaw, Michigan, who may not have had every opportunity that everyone else was given, but was willing to take the opportunity to make themselves the best that they could possibly be. So I completed all of my coursework for the PhD, and then when you get a PhD, it's a little bit different. You know, they give you the invitations, like, you know, for your bachelor's degree, kind of high school, bachelor's degree, master's degree. But when you go on to get your PhD, they give you these invitations that you should extend to family members and friends, and they're embossed in gold. I said, oh yeah, she need one of these. So I mailed her the invitation so that I could be introduced as, and it read something like this. We, the members of Capella University, wish to extend this opportunity for you to attend the graduation wherein we announce Dr. Desmond Daniel to the world. Well, in this case, we knew she wasn't coming. So when we walked across the stage and we shook the provost's hand, take that picture, I sent her the picture because she needed to understand in that moment there are individuals who are placed in our presence, who are there for a reason, and that reason for some individuals is so that they can stop you from realizing the dreams that have been placed deep within you. That's their job. My desire, the reason that I do what I do is because I want them to be unemployed. I want the people that's going to support our people and become the best persons that they can be, to be the individuals that you can rely on so that you can achieve anything that you want to do. Anything. I recognize that this lady was not going to attend my graduation, but what she needed to know was, you can't stop the dreams of individuals who are born to be dreamers. How many of you in this room have a desire to leave your high school experience and go on to college? Come on, let me see you. Raise your hand. Come on, if you're in this room, and that's why you're here, because you're interested in attending college. I need to let you know several things. This story is your story. You create your own narrative. There are individuals that you will meet in the process of getting from point A to point B that will not support you. I'm sorry to say, but I'm here to tell you the truth. Some individuals that look just like you will not be there to support you. This thing has to be personal. It's gotta be personal. Because just as the mayor said, when you get to that college experience and nobody's there to wake you up and say, hey baby, you gotta go to class. Hey baby, you gotta prepare for this test. Hey baby, hey baby, hey baby, now you're grown. You are now making the decisions that will impact the rest of your life. And you can't afford to sleep on your dreams. My challenge was learning how not to sleep on my dreams. She encouraged me to do something, but then, like it's already been said, what are you gonna do? Identify your why, identify your how, and your win has to be now. There's a poem that I learned in school. Hidden in the interwoven mechanism of my chronometer is such a state of disregard that I cannot with any degree of accuracy state the correct time. But for the fear of being too far off or too far on, I can approximate the time as being blank ticks and blank ties. Let me fill the blank with now, and the other blank with, if I don't do it now, it'll never be done. You are in a perfect position right now to grab hold of your dreams. You have resources that are in this room that will help you get where you want to go. Please believe the paths that we have set before us are paths that will make us proud. They will require more of us than perhaps we've ever been required to give. But I share with you this. If you decide to go on this journey, you won't be alone. You will not be alone. But those individuals who want to be a support to you in that journey, they may be few. And all it takes is a few people to believe. But the belief has to begin with you. It has to. I've had the opportunity to travel, such as Jimmy has already stated, and we have the opportunity to go across the country and even go abroad and tell our story to young people who look just like you. And many of them will say, well, you know, I've never had anybody to encourage me. My mom and dad, they may have done this, they may have done this. Look, my mother and father didn't go to school. I remember my father when I was a young man studying to get his high school diploma. I remember what that was like. I remember my mother falling ill, and when she fell ill, she was in a position where she could not go to my graduation. But she said, baby, if nobody goes, you better be there. See, we will have those people to inspire us, but we'll also have people that say, oh, you can't do it because you're just like your cousin. You can't do it, you're just like your brother. Nobody in your family has ever graduated high school. Nobody in your family has ever gone on to pursue a college degree. Nobody, and what makes you think you can do it? You need to understand your what, your why, your how, and your when. You have to understand that you can look that individual in their eye and say to them, oh, I understand the role that you're expected to play in my life. Thank you for identifying yourself for me. And at that time, you have to purpose in your heart. I want you to see me do great things, not only because of me, because when I have children, I want my children's children's children to recognize that they too can achieve greatness. And it started with you telling me that I couldn't do it. Thank you so much for your moment of discouragement. Because out of your discouragement, you're creating a time bomb. And that bomb is ready right now to do whatever it takes for me to be successful. What it takes to be successful is predicated on you and your vision. You have got to see it before you can see it. You got to see it before you can see it. I wrote a book, it's called Seeing It. If you can't see it before you see it, you may never see it. If you can't see yourself walking across that stage before you see it, you may never see it. If you can't see yourself owning a home before you see it, you may never see it. If you can't see yourself driving the car that you've always wanted before you see it, you may never see it. You've got to be that individual who sees what you want. Sometimes you have to draw your own image in order for you to see it in all practical sense. So when we talk about Dream Now, throughout the balance of this day, we're going to be sharing with you some resources, some tools that will allow you to formulate that dream and make it come true for you, because you're the only person responsible for it. Parents may love you, but they're not responsible for that. Persons that raise you, they love you, but they're not responsible for that. It is your responsibility. And as we continue to share with you, give you key concepts that will help you dream now. Not only dream, but make it a reality. We encourage you to take good notes. We're going to give you our contact information so that you may follow up with us at any time. Because we're those people. Now, I'll share with you. I've done this everywhere that I've gone. Give out my phone number. I give out my email. And if it's a room of 100, maybe 2 people will ask me a question. And out of those 2, they fall off. Every now and then, one will say, hey, I remember meeting you at this place. You shook my hand, you took a picture, you gave me your phone number, you gave me your email, and I wanted to just follow up with you because I'm experiencing this problem. I'm so glad that you called. How can I help you? The one person that called, I remember a young lady that I had met while we were traveling. She followed up and she called me and she said, I'm trying to get into the university. And I said, oh, okay, which university? She gave me the name of the university. I called the president of the university. I ain't got nothing to lose. Hi, I'm Dr. Desmond Daniel. I'm calling on behalf of XYZ. I represent a contingency of individuals who want to see her be successful. I'm a part of an organization. In fact, I'm the CEO of an organization called Motivating Factor. She took the time to contact me. We had a personal conversation. And I'm so pleased to say that she's interested in going to your institution, but she has one barrier. And that is, she needs some money. The president took my call. Said, okay, there are a number of scholarships, make sure that they fill out the FAFSA, make sure that they do this, make sure they do this, and make sure they do that. Well, we have a president's scholarship. And I would love to see her application or her essay come across my desk. If she has the courage to write the essay, then I have the fortitude to give her some money. Come on now. All it takes is taking advantage of an opportunity. This is an opportunity for you to make your dreams come true. But in order to do it, you have to take a step. Some of you may be here today and you didn't even want to be here. They told me that I had to come, so I guess I'm gonna show up. But when you get there, you're like, dang, they gonna make me sit here. And then because it started a few minutes late, now you're sitting at your table to my seat. I can't believe it. Got me here wasting my time. I guess it's almost lunch today. They had tater tots, and you know how much I love tater tots, but I ain't gonna give you no tater tots because they ain't got no time. I bet they ain't got no tater tots at this store. I bet they ain't got no tater tots. That's your story. But take from this is an opportunity for me to go to the next level. Whatever you do, make your dream personal. Take advantage of the resources that you have before you to make it happen. Me, I'm a spiritual person. I always start whatever I do with a song. I start every day with a song. So I'm gonna share that song with you now because it inspires me and I hope that it inspires you. The Lord